The first step for hiring a virtual assistant is to sign up for a website like onlinejobs.ph, Fiverr, or Upwork. And I personally use and recommend onlinejobs.ph because you can get the best deal on a virtual assistant using this website. The second step is to post your job on this website. You're gonna have to add a title and a description for your job post. And I'm gonna show you step by step how to craft your job post so that you're gonna get the best candidate on this website. Step 3 is to filter the applicants to your job because you're gonna get hundreds of people requesting for your job, and you wanna make sure that you hire the best one. And after you filter the candidates, you'll probably be left with around 10 different people. And step 4 is to interview the people that you're looking to hire. And I'm gonna show you all the questions you should ask when interviewing a virtual assistant. And step 5 is to hire the winner, and to start working with them, I'm gonna share with you all the tools that I recommend using when hiring a virtual assistant, including tools that'll make it easier to pay them and tool that will record their screen so you can make sure that they're actually working as much as they say they're working. And hiring a virtual assistant is the best thing I've ever done for my business. It 3x my productivity. Because when you hire a virtual assistant, first off, all the tasks that you're doing that are boring, that you don't wanna do, you can give to your virtual assistant. On top of that, when you start looking at the tasks that you're gonna give to your virtual assistant, you'll quickly realize that some of the tasks that you've been doing, you're not even willing to pay $3, $4, $5 an hour for a virtual assistant to do it. And if you're not willing to pay that small amount of money, then why are you doing that task? And using the method that I'm gonna show you in this video, you're gonna be able to hire a virtual assistant for $3, $4, or $5 and ultimately triple your productivity. So smash the like button because in this video, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know to hire a rockstar virtual assistant. And if you're looking for even more help in hiring a virtual assistant, next week, I'm gonna be launching a 6-week intensive program that'll take you step by step and show you how to hire and work with your own virtual assistant. I'll put a link down below. If you wanna get on the wait list for that program, I'm only gonna be accepting 20 people into this program, and you gotta be on the wait list if you wanna know about this program. But in this video, I'm gonna give you all the tools that you're gonna need to know to hire your own virtual assistant. The program is just for people that need a little bit more hand-holding and want a little bit more help in that. And the first step to hiring a virtual assistant is to go to onlinejobs.ph by clicking on the link down below in the description or up here. And when you click on the link in the description down below to sign up for onlinejobs.ph, it helps me out and it helps the channel out. Now, there are other websites where you can hire a virtual assistant, websites like Fiverr or Upwork. And those sites are great if you're looking to do project-based work. If you want to hire someone for a short period of time, Upwork and Fiverr work really well. But I find if you're looking to hire someone for a full-time position, hiring someone off Upwork is a lot more expensive. And that's because using onlinejobs.ph, you can hire a full-time virtual assistant in the Philippines. And in the Philippines, the cost of living is a lot lower, which means that people are willing to work for $3, $4, or $5 an hour. And what I personally found is by using the system I'm gonna share with you in this video, you can find really amazing, talented virtual assistants that are extremely hardworking, and because $5 an hour in the Philippines is a lot more money than they can make at other jobs, they're really happy to have the job and they're going to work hard. And I actually did a video where I went and I visited one of my virtual assistants in the Philippines, and I asked him a ton of questions about what it's like working for an American in the Philippines. I'll link that video up here. But ultimately, what he told me is that it's a really good job for them and that they can make a lot of money, that they can work from home, they don't have to deal with traffic, and it's a great opportunity. Now, it does cost $69 a month to sign up for onlinejobs.ph, but here's the secret, there's actually a 30-day, 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee. And the first time I used this website, I actually signed up with the intention that I was going to hire a virtual assistant and then ask for my money back. But I ended up finding such an amazing virtual assistant that I let onlinejobs.ph keep the money. So it's 100% risk-free to sign up and use the website to find a virtual assistant. And also it's important to know that it's $69 a month, but once you find a virtual assistant, you can cancel your subscription and you won't have to continue to pay that amount. Unlike websites like Upwork or Fiverr, where even after you hire someone using Upwork, you got to consistently pay through the Upwork platform, which means that Upwork is taking a percentage of everything that you give to your virtual assistant. So that's another reason why it's so much cheaper using onlinejobs.ph instead of Upwork. The second step is to post your job. And when you're posting your job, you have the title and you also have the body description. The title is the first thing that people are going to see. So you're going to want to make sure that your title stands out and it makes it very clear what kind of a position you're hiring for. In the description, you're you're going to want to give more details about exactly what this person is going to be doing day to day, all the details of the job, how many hours a week you're looking to hire someone. And a key secret that nobody talks about is that when you're posting a job on onlinejobs.ph or any of these websites, you're going to want to make sure that the candidates have to jump through some hoops to make sure that they're actually paying attention. So what I put in the job description is I tell people that they have to change the subject line of the message that they're sending to me. And I ask them to tell me a few sentences on why they want this position with my company. And what I find is 50% of the people that apply don't follow these simple steps. So those people that don't even follow these simple steps, I don't even open up their message. I don't even take them to the next step of the hiring process. And the next step, step 3, is to filter out the candidates. So once I've gotten a bunch of people that have messaged me, they've followed the instructions so far, I have to filter out those people before I spend my time interviewing them. So what I do is I have them do a sample assignment. And for the sample assignment, I have them send me their internet speed, their computer specs, and I give them some small, easy tasks to do just to see how good of a job that they can do. For instance, if I'm hiring a graphic designer, I might have them do a quick graphic design test. Maybe I'll tell them to design a quick logo or to Photoshop a photo for me. Then take the top 5 to 10 candidates from this phase and I schedule a Zoom call with them. And the reason this is so important is 1, you get to test their internet speed. Make sure that it actually is fast enough that you're going to be able to work with them. 2, you can actually see if they are who they say they are. Sometimes people on these online job boards lie about who they are. And 3, you get to actually see what it's going to really be like to work with them. You're going to get to see their real responses when you ask them the questions. And here are some of the questions that I recommend asking an applicant on an interview. I always ask them, are you currently working? And if you're not, tell me about your last job. This will tell you a lot about a candidate, because if they got fired from their last job, you might want to know why. Or if they're currently working at a job, you might want to know why that they want to quit that job to come work for you, so you can make sure that you provide a better environment for them to work in. I also always ask them, what happens if your internet goes out? What kind of backup options do you have? Because in the Philippines, the internet and the power do go out occasionally. But worst case scenario, a smart virtual assistant knows that you can go to a public place where they have backup power, and that virtual assistant will be able to work at that environment. I also like to ask fun questions, and one of my favorite fun questions is, if you could have a conversation with anyone living or dead, who would it be and why? This allows you to get to know a little bit more about the person. And the last question I always ask is, do you have any questions for me? This will let you know a lot about a potential employee, because good employees tend to have questions for the employer. Not always, but I've found this to usually be the case. And I have a list of the top 21 questions I ask to every single virtual assistant that I interview. I'll put a link to that down below. In fact, down below is my entire step-by-step free guide, and in this free guide I show sample posts, I show the exact messages I send to my virtual assistants, the exact questions I ask on the interview. It's literally my standard operating procedure for hiring a virtual assistant that I use completely step by step, and again, I'll put that link to that down below. And step number 5 is to hire the best candidate. Now, I do have an email that every time I hire a new virtual assistant, I send them this email that includes links to everything that they need to download and everything they need to do to get ready to work with me. And I do have that first day email in the step-by-step document that I link to down below. But here are some of my favorite tools to use to work with virtual assistants. The first thing that you need to use is some kind of a time tracking screen recording software, because I have had virtual assistants that have told me that they worked for me for 100 hours, and then when I went and I looked at their screen recordings, they weren't working for me, they were working for someone else. They were trying to scam me out of money. This is rare, but it does happen, so you need to have a software like Hubstaff that will actually track your virtual assistant's time. And I do have a discount link for Hubstaff that I'll put down below, but it's extremely inexpensive. I think it's like around $5 a month. And trust me, you're gonna wanna have this. Even if you don't ever plan on looking at the screen recordings of your VAs working, it's good to have as a backup. And I generally don't look at the screen recordings of my VAs, but if there starts to be an issue, I'll go and I'll look and see what's going on, what's the problem. The second tool you're gonna wanna use is LastPass. And LastPass is a way that you can share all of your passwords with your virtual assistants, but they won't ever know what your passwords actually are. So if you want to hide your passwords from your virtual assistants, this is a great way to do it extremely securely. Dropbox and Google Drive are also essential tools. Dropbox is how I share large files. For instance, this video that I'm recording right now, I'm going to put it into Dropbox. My editors are going to download it and they're going to work on it, and then they're going to put the final version of the file back into Dropbox, and I'll have another virtual assistant that actually uploads it to YouTube. And with Google Drive, we share documents like spreadsheets or just regular Word documents, and we can work on these together at the same time. Another tool that I recommend is PayPal, and it's the best way, in my opinion, to actually pay your virtual assistants. It does charge a fee of around $5 per transaction, but that's actually a lot cheaper than a lot of other methods. And even though this is enough to get you started with hiring your first virtual assistant, it's just the tip of the iceberg. As I mentioned, I do have a 6-week intensive program that I'm going to be starting next week, and if you want to get on the wait list for that, click the link down below, sign up for the wait list, and you'll be the first to know about this in-depth how to hire a virtual assistant program. Again, link to that down below, and I hope to see you in the program. Thanks.